If you want to see what my favorite products of 2018 are, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène with another video, but this is a very special video. This is my array of products that are my favorites for 2018. This is big. So we are going to go through all categories of products that I'm ready to talk about. Some of them I'll explain I don't want to elaborate on because I'm doing Battle of the Brands, I'm doing a lot of research and try-on and experimentation, and for those product categories I will not be making a recommendation today, but you'll be able to see some recommendations throughout 2019, and by the end of 2019 I will have another slew of recommendations for you. I don't have a particular order for going through the products. I have them all laid out next to me here, and we're just going to go through them as we go through them. Now, of course, when I hit a category, I'll try to hit all the products at once, but I won't necessarily go through in order. So I hope that makes sense to you. I will try to be succinct so that we are not here for a couple of hours. But if you do want to, you may want to pause and get yourself a snack or a beverage because this is going to be quite a long video. So let's go with a couple of skincare items that I am okay with talking about because I have used and repurchased them and don't intend to not use them in the future. Okay, so we have a few products here. One of them is the Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair, and I'm just taking the clamp off here because it's the one I'm using is used up quite a bit. This is the Rapid Wrinkle Repair Serum. I love this stuff. It is a retinol product, so if you do want to try it, just go easy on it to begin with. But it's, gosh, I've repurchased it maybe a half dozen times at this point. I really quite like it. And another product that I use a lot of is the Paula's Choice BHA 2% Resist Triple Action Dark Spot Eraser. It's a BHA gel, and as you can tell, I'm giving that one a lot of love. And for both of these, I already have a backup because I don't intend to stop using them, so you can tell I quite like them. A more recent acquisition is the D-Bronzi. In my 40 days of Drunk Elephant, I did say that this was the product out of the whole bunch that I would not hesitate to repurchase, and indeed I did. So if you want to see that video for my impressions of Drunk Elephant, I will link it right here. But I really like it. I have started mixing this with my moisturizer if I'm not intending to wear a foundation, and it gives me a very nice finish. Or I am mixing it with my very light foundation just for a little extra color. And for context, for my complexion, if you have a similar complexion, I use a half a pump. One full pump is just too much for me. But it will last a very, very long time. My sample lasted me a couple months. So, well, not quite, 50-ish days. So it lasts a really long time. Another one of my favorites is the Ulla Henriksen Truth Serum. And I do believe Ulla is the right pronunciation. It is, I like this vitamin C serum. I have used it, this is my third bottle at least, and I did try the three other vitamin C serums, and I keep going back to this one. I like the feel of it, I like the smell of it, and I also like the fact that it's a little bit more affordable than other options. One that is a little bit up there when it comes to toners is the Pixi Glow Tonic. I just love the way this product makes my skin feel. It's a 5% glycolic acid exfoliating toner. I just really like it, and what else is there to say? I've tried 2-3 other toners, and I came back to this one even though it's triple the price. It lasts a long time. I just make sure I buy it on sale, and I really like it. Next up, let's talk a couple of powders. Actually, yeah, let's talk some powders. I recently repurchased the Dual Finish from Lancôme, and I can confirm that I really love this powder. I just started using it again, and you can use it wet or dry as a light to medium coverage, and I really like it. If you're curious, I have it in 220 Buff 2C. There are 19 grams of product in this package, and yeah, it is still a favorite. I really quite like it. When it comes to powders, I don't have a powder. When it comes to translucent powders, I haven't nailed my favorite down yet, but I do have my favorite when it comes to finishing powders, and it's this one right here, and it is the Makeup Forever High Definition Finishing Powder. That one I really, really like, although I'm going to be trying some more powders in the coming year. I have a Battle of the Brand number 4, which is going to be Becca Hourglass, kind of going head to head when it comes to finishing veils and kind of the luminosity. So I know it's not like an HD finishing powder, but I'm just saying there's lots more in powders that I may be trying. While I have this out, I want to talk about how much I love the Tarte magnetic palettes. I have other magnetic palettes, but these are by far my favorite. So this one is a nice one for travel because it's the size of my hand. It's, well, not even, just bigger than the palm of my hand. And it fits either 4 large pans, or I think it would be 9 small pans. I really like this. And then there is also this one, which is the larger one. I ended up loving this one so much, and I have Cleonad Cosmetics in here. So you can see that it gives you basically 5 by 5, so 25 smaller eyeshadows in here, and you can see there's a full mirror on the other side, and they are super, super sturdy. Like this one unfortunately it's getting a little bit frayed on the corners. It's not as strong of a fabric, but this cover, it's like a plasticized cover. I love it so much. I bought 2 more of these because they're just so good. Since we're talking about palettes, because to me the magnetic palettes and whatnot, I think travel, I think ease of focusing on just a small number of products. I'm going to talk about this one, which is the Urban Decay, what's it called, Nirvana palette. And basically it's a spot for 4 Urban Decay singles. And the reason I'm bringing this palette up is because I invested a great deal of my budget this year on Urban Decay singles. And if you have not seen my 20th anniversary Urban Decay brand new focus, I'll link it here, and you can see it, I hope, behind me. This big box here has 20 singles and 20 pencils from Urban Decay. And so I got this so I could take out 4 of them and focus on 4 of them as opposed to being overwhelmed by the full box. But that 20th anniversary was a super deal, and I really like Urban Decay shadows, and I've been very happy to try all of them. I thought I would just bring a few out. So one of them is Asphyxia, and it's a beautiful shifting purple pink. I just love this color. And also Mildew is a color I was really surprised I can get away with my green eyes. And this is Mildew right here. It's beautiful, kind of shifts to gold, olive green to gold. And it's beautiful. So I had a bunch of those singles, and I also got myself a few more of the Urban Decay singles, just 2 or 3, not a whole lot, because those 20 were very well curated, along with a bunch of pencils. So I have a whack of pencils from Urban Decay here. They're the 24/7 Glide-Ons, and as you can tell, I've got quite an array of colors here. The dark, the quite vibrant colors, and I picked out a couple that I think are important to talk about. For example, Lucky and Midnight Cowboy. I don't know if everyone knows this. You can draw with the pencil on your lid and then shear it out to a completely different color, and it looks so beautiful. You just grab Lucky, and you can also use these pencils as a base. to put other shadows on top. And they're super, super creamy. So here's Lucky all by itself, and then you can, before it sets, just shear it out, and it becomes a beautiful shadow. And you can keep shearing it out more and more until you get the color that you want. And so it just adds to the versatility of the pencils to be able to use them not only on your waterline, on your lash line, but also as essentially a shadow that then sets. And they are very long wearing. Not everybody can wear them in the waterline. For some reason, they don't stay for some people. But I have to say that once that shadow, I call it a shadow now because the pencil is all kind of sheared out. Once that pencil / shadow sets, it really doesn't budge off the lid, and I really appreciate that. So to give you an idea of what's in the bigger box, this is kind of the layout that is in the larger box. The shadows are all in line top to bottom, and then the pencils are all lined up at the bottom. This is actually a kit that I purchased from Urban Decay before buying the big 20 shadow, 20 pencil, just to make sure that I was going to use them. And this kit proved to me that I was going to use them, and it's a nice one. I don't think it's available anymore, but if you like purples, I do recommend it. I think we'll go into eyeshadows and face products. Let's go into face products first. So for multi-purpose, I have a few palettes to talk about. One that shocked me this year because of its affordability and ease of storage transport was the Complexionista by Benefit. And actually, I have to say, Benefit and Urban Decay won it for complexion products this year. So here is the inside of the palette. The only thing I don't like is that cream products and powder products are together, but so far I've brought it with me traveling, and so far it has not been a big issue. There is a powder and cream highlight. There are two bronzers, the light and the regular, and then two concealers, number 1 and number 2, and these are the Boiing Industrial Strength Concealer, which is the concealer of choice that I'm using right now. I was debating here, but I'm going to keep going with Benefit. Now, this is an old palette, but when I think of blushes and I think of a good variety of blushes, even though these are apparently deemed to be not that great quality because they're a palette as opposed to singles, the singles are supposed to be better quality. I have to say that I really like these. And there is a bronzer, and then all the other ones are blushes. And out of the bunch, I actually really like all of them. But I would have to say that Dallas and Rockateur are my two favorite blushes. But I do use all of them. Like if I have a peach look, I will use the Coralista, and if I have a kind of a pinky look, I'll use Dandelion, no problem there. And I do have to focus on this one this year because I think that, you know, they have a certain shelf life and I should really focus on finishing them. But again, I really like this blush palette, and I would say that next time if I need to get rid of this for some reason or finish it, I doubt it, but finish it, I would probably get another Benefit palette for blushes. I just like them, despite the fact that people say it's not as good. Maybe I just don't know better. I just like them. I talked about Urban Decay also winning out on the complexion products, and so to me, the highlighter, so sparkling highlighter, powder highlighter, contour, and bronzer, I used all of these during my Naked in November series, and I was really impressed with the powders and kind of going, why did I just leave it kind of sitting there for a while? So I have put this palette back into my more regular rotation, and I also like the cream products, although I don't use the cream products quite as much, but I do enjoy them when I use them, and I do use cream products more in the winter, so I will certainly be cracking this open regularly as we are heading into winter. Next up, to keep up with the bronzers, I'm going to talk about a recent addition, which is the Park Avenue Princess. This is a gorgeous palette. If it fits your skin tone, I have to say it is beautiful. I tend to use these two a lot, and these two at the end for now. And this packaging is so, I'll use the word stunning, that when I pan it, because I think I will, the blushes are quite powdery, I will refill it with product. When I have another bronzer or blush that's almost done, I will probably repress it in this palette. It's just such a beautiful package. When it comes to highlighters I have reached for the most, I'm going to show you two. One is the Afterglow from Urban Decay. Now, a lot of folks don't like this one for some reason, but I use all of these highlighters quite a bit. I really like Wicked when I'm using the Naked 3. I like the ONS when I'm using the Heat or the Original Naked. And then Cliché and No Angel I use for different looks. I don't have a specific palette in mind when I'm using those. And they also look very nice on the eye just as is. My other highlight only palette that I've used quite a bit this year is the Aurora by ABH. And I use this palette both on the eye and as a highlighter on the cheekbone. I have a couple of favorite colors. Helia, this one, and Spectra. Those are my two absolute favorites in the palette, although I do use all of the colors. Now, the one that probably got the most use this year overall is the Jean-Michel Basquiat face palette. And it was funny because it's the palette that I was the least jazzed about in the whole collection. I got all three palettes. And it's amazing how much I use this. You can tell that Jawbones had a lot of use, and also now's the time as far as the highlighter. The blushes I don't use quite as much, but they're showing quite a bit of wear as well. Now for a couple of cream complexion products beyond the Complexionista palette I showed you. And this is a brand new one because I finished my other one. And it is the Hoola Quickie Contour. And I have not cracked open this one yet because I have some other cream contour that I've been using, the Naked Shapeshifter. But this is my favorite cream contour product, hands down, hence the reason I picked another one up. The value for money for the Hoola Quickie Contour is insane. It lasts a really long time, and if you've been worried about the difficulty of using cream contour, this will make you become a believer. I fundamentally believe as long as you find that it is an appropriate color for you, it's great. I use it for contour / bronzing, and zip, 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 possibly side of the nose, just under the lip, and I'm good to go. It blends like a dream. And then the other one that will last me forever, I tried to pan this a while back, and there's no way I can possibly do that, is the What's Up highlighting stick. And I ended up getting another deluxe sample of this. Now this one was one that I got in a small benefits kit. And I've used and used and used this thing, and like there's so much left that when I got another one as a deluxe sample that ended up being the exact same size, I gave it away to someone who's just kind of getting back into makeup, and she uses it regularly. It is very beginner or infrequent makeup user friendly. I really recommend it. Since we're on to complexion products, I just want to mention a couple of brushes. I don't have a whole lot of brushes to recommend, just two, and I'm talking about out of my whole brush collection, I just want to talk about two. This one is a new discovery for me this year. This is the Sephora Featherweight Blending Brush. I've had it for over 4 months. I don't know exactly how often, but when I think of highlighter, this is the one I use automatically now. It is very, very fluffy, and I don't like a ton of highlighter, but it's perfect for the cheeks, and I also use it right on the bridge of my nose. Actually, in Cupid's bow too. I use it for all those high points of my face. I love, love, love this brush. It's beautiful. And another one that is my, frankly, my ride or die blush brush is this one. And there are a few that are like that. It's a mix of bristles, and it is the Quo Bronzing Powder Brush. and it's beautiful. And I have kept it in this cap because one of the complaints that I've heard about this style of brush is that it gets too bushy. Well, because I keep it in the container, it keeps it smaller so that it's actually possible to get the brush exactly where you want it. So I'm a big fan of this brush. Okay, we're getting into eyeshadow palettes. Let's go with a few oddball ones that are kind of specialty because they're glittery, sparkly, kind of holiday palettes. One of them is the Urban Decay Heavy Metals. I love this palette. I don't use it a ton, but I love the versatility of having an all metallics palette, because if I need to put a shadow on the lid and I want something that has a lot of punch, this palette always does it. And I really enjoy the color payoff that I get when I use this palette. There's the metallic blue called Dive. I really love it, really love it. And these metallics pair really well with the 24/7 Glide-On pencils. So I've not been disappointed in any way, shape, or form with this palette. And to me, frankly, the packaging is to die for. It just slips right back in. I love it. I love it. And if for anybody who's ever frustrated with the packaging, if you always think that the colorful side goes in first, right at where the logo is, you'll never have a problem with how to put it back in. Next up, let's talk about one that I'm actually using during this month. This is the month of December. I'm using nothing but holiday palettes. And this is the now defunct Estee Edit. It's a double-sided palette and beautiful, beautiful gem colors on this side and a nice sparkly black for a smoky look. And then on the other side, it's called the Face and Eye palette. And yes, I do use it very much for both. A couple of very nice highlighters up here, blush, and then you've got more of the bronzy, but I tended to use this more for highlight and eye, and this side for eye. So I didn't find that, like, there was one, this color was good for blush, but I didn't really find that there was a color in here that was all that great for bronzer, because they're all very, very shiny bronzers. So unless that's your jam, I would say that it's highlight and blush and eye palette. Oh, and they're magnetized, so they come apart, which is really cool. I wish that that product had been able to survive, because I would really recommend it. So if you have it and you haven't really been using it, I would say go back and dig it up and play with it a little bit more, because it's really worth the time and effort to learn the palette. Now, one of my absolute gems, and I love that it's called Semi-Precious because I sure call it a gem. This is a ColourPop palette that was in Sephora last year, and it is beautiful. It never fails me. It always gives me a beautiful look, whether I'm using it on the outer lid crease or if I'm using it all over the lid. It's a beautiful 8-pan palette, and I'm very happy that I have it. My absolute favorites are these three. So Easy Go, Beam Me Up, and then this one, Bashful. I love these guys so much, and I'm really starting to like this one even more. This one is Upon a Star, and also this one is Celestial. I stopped myself from using this one because it's so easy to use that I would just keep putting it on the lid, and I want to shake it up. And when I use the other colors, I'm always happy. So Celestial is kind of like the easy thing to do, but when I use the other colors, I never regret it. So yeah, anyway, love this palette. Now for some more everyday palettes, I'm going to go from smallest to biggest because it's just the way they're stacked. I have to say that I really do love the Tarteist mini palettes. Well, mini palettes. I have one, but if I have a chance to get more, I probably will. This is the Tarteist Pro To Go, and I brought this one with me to Guatemala, and I did not regret it. It is a gorgeous little guy, perfect for travel, and tiny, tiny size. So yeah, it's high in my book. I like every one of these colors. There are 3 mattes, 3 shimmers, and, well, almost metallics. This Hype and Dominate are just, they're just beautiful. Like, all of them are great, but if I had to pick 2 that I love the most, it would be those 2. highly recommend this one. I don't know how it compares to the Tartiste though, because Tartiste Pro, because I've only ever had the 6 pans. Now this one is a recommendation, or how happy I am with a brand. This is Buxom, and I have 2 palettes in a single from this brand. This one is the Suede Seduction, and don't mind this one, it had an accident. But this is actually Suede Seduction, these 5 colors. This one is out of Dolly, and you'll see Dolly's Wild Side, and you'll see in a minute why I have that one. Oops, sorry, I'm blinding you. Why I have that one in this palette. Buxom shadows are stinking amazing, and I wish they got more airtime. Now this is Dolly's Wild Side, except for this one. It doesn't belong. So the other cashmere should be in here. This one is La La Lavish, and it came as a free shadow from Buxom that was just tiny, and I actually repressed it in a larger pan when Yacht was the color in here and it shattered. So I put La La Lavish in here so I could still have 6 pans in each one of these compacts. And I have to say that if I end up finishing any of the shadows, can guarantee you, if they still make them, I will buy another Buxom shadow to keep the palette whole. And if you're not familiar with Buxom, they come out as a tray. You can change the colors in the tray. I think that this setup is great. Oops, as I lose the brush. And this compact is just a really good compact. It's 6 shadows, just enough to do a bunch of looks, but not overwhelming. Now this one is a new rediscovery of Recent based on my Naked in November full month of using only my Naked palettes in November. And it is, when I really thought about it, if I were to say before the whole Naked in November series, I would have told you that the Naked Smoky was my favorite, probably followed by the Naked Heat, then the Naked Original, Naked 2, and Naked 3. Well, that changed. This is now my top palette because, probably because it's the OG, it can replicate some looks in almost all of the other palettes except for the Naked Heat. So I think that if I only could keep one, it would be the Naked Original, and I did find myself pulled to this palette more than any of the other ones. Honorable mention, the Naked 3 I ended up being pulled toward a lot more than I expected as well. So those 2 palettes out of the whole Naked series, those are my favorites. I do have to mention, I don't have the Cherry, don't intend to get it, and so I can't comment on the Cherry. But this one, I hope it's a joke that they're discontinuing it, but if you have a chance to get it still at that 50% off and you've never had it before, or you regret decluttering it, I recommend it. One that shocked the heck out of me this year is the Sweet Peach palette from Too Faced. If you told me I would love this palette as much as I do, I don't think I would have believed you. Here it is. The variation in the colors is surprising. I ended up liking the purples quite a bit. The green that really pulled me into this palette, I actually didn't like all that much, but I was surprised, really delighted at the variation in the looks that I was able to make with this palette. It doesn't look all that varied, but when you swatch them, they're different. I would recommend taking a look at my Focus on Too Faced. I will link that one in the cards as well. It's worth a shot to take a look at this. The next palette, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you would already know that this one makes it into every one of my favorite palette videos or favorites of whatever. It is the Subculture. A little bit of shadow goes a long way. I find it very easy to do a look. I have been asked to do some looks with the Subculture because I talk about it so much. I get it, and I will be doing that very soon, probably early in the new year. I know it's not for everybody. I get that. But if those colors are your jam, it is possible to do easy looks with the subculture. And yes, I will prove it in an upcoming video. One that delighted me, and it was kind of my go-to for some of these colors before the Park Avenue Princess palette that I showed you during the kind of complexion product section, is the Tarte Clay Play. Now I have the original, and to me, I like this one better than what they did with the relaunch. These colors are beautiful. There is not a single look that I've done with this palette that I did not like. And huge mirror, plus, I mean, the packaging is gorgeous. I think this is a super, super well executed cardboard package. I love it. I just do. Another one that surprised and delighted me was the Ciate Morello 2. This came out last holiday season, and I did a focus on it. And actually, it was the same time as I did a focus on ColourPop Semi Precious. God, I love this palette. It's so good. I can do so much with this palette. And I was, you know what? I'm not even going to say I'm going to pick my favorites because they were all good. They were all good. I was kind of disappointed. I was wondering if they were going to come out with a third collab. They didn't. But I'm really, really impressed with this palette. And if you have it and you haven't been using it, you might want to crack it open again and play with it some more. A huge shocker for me this year was this one, the Jaclyn Hill palette. It took me a long time to crack into it because I was really annoyed at how much I had to pay and duties and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, long story short, I finally did give it a real go, and I pretty much like everything about this palette. It has everything that I would want, including that requisite pop of color. Surprisingly enough, the couple of green colors is what I'm like the least, even though I keep playing with it. I really, really like this one, Sissy. Really like this color. It's quite unique, quite beautiful. It has an iridescence to it. Kind of goes from a pink to a gold shift. It's a bit chunky, but I really, really like that kind of duochrome. There are plenty of mattes that I quite enjoy, and yeah, I really like this palette. Now, part of why I ended up getting more Morphe is because of my experience with this palette. I have the 35B, I have the 39A, and I also have the 35M, but I won't include them in these favorites because I've not really thoroughly played with them. This palette, I have used all the shadows, many of them multiple times, and so I feel very comfortable saying that this is a really solid palette and I really like it. It is versatile, more than other palettes, but in part that's because of the number of shadows in this palette. 35 is a lot compared to when you're comparing it to a 10 to 14 pan palette. So, but really, really like this palette. So that's it for powder products, and I thought I would go into a few of the liquid products that I have. So mostly mascaras and lipsticks. Okay, so let's just go through a pencil for now. Out of all of the liquid liners that I have used, this Fierce Flicks from Ciate is my favorite. I just love the felt liner on this pencil. And I tried brush and felt liners. It's my favorite. It's great. And it lasts for a really long time. It's quite precise. When it comes to mascaras, I have two that I really love. The Voluminous Lash Paradise, I have the waterproof, but I do use both the waterproof and the regular. I love the brush. It is a dupe for the Better Than Sex mascara. I love the Hourglass wand. And then the other one, which is, I went through a couple of samples, and then when I got the Lancôme holiday set, this was a full size that was included in the holiday set, and that's what I'm using right now, although today I have the Lancôme Définissime because I'm trying that mascara. But for most of the month of December, this is what I'm using. And I'm loving every minute of it. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous mascara, and I have gone through at least a dozen different mascaras this year, and I can say that this one is definitely on top. Another miscellaneous liquid product is Mon Guerlain. This is a perfume. It's a small one, but I actually have 3 of these, and I've been working my way through this bottle quite actively during the month of November because it's in my roulette pen collab, which I promised to use my Guerlain perfume. I'm using another perfume, Lancôme La Vie est Belle is the one I'm using right now. But I have to say, out of all the perfumes I've tried over the last year, it's the best one, at least for me. I love it. It has just it's a beautiful scent, and you have to try it with your own body chemistry. It works really well for me, and it's just wonderful. So yeah, by far my favorite perfume. Okay, let's talk lipsticks. And I'm going to reapply this one. So a couple of lipsticks. This one is Sheer Liquid by Urban Decay. Looks like this. I wanted to apply it because you can see how sheer it is compared to what it looks like in the bullet. And I really, really like this sheer lipstick. It's super, super comfortable. One that I would really love to show you, but that I lost in my September trip, is Bobby Dazzle. It's a gorgeous lipstick, and I am trying to resist buying another one. I'm going to wait until I can get it 50% off or something. It's that one is kind of white sparkly, almost like a lip gloss, and it's in the same kind of a bullet. It's beautiful. Another color that I really love in the bullet is 1993. And it looks like this. Really gorgeous. I have it in a full size and a mini. And also the equivalent in the liquid lipstick. They're both beautiful. That said, I have a formula that I like more than the Urban Decay liquid lipstick, and that is Smashbox. And you will see my Smashbox lipsticks right here. I was lucky enough to get Maneater as a sample this fall. I love it for Christmas. And then I thought I would show you a couple more, a full-size metallic and then a full-size matte. So I'll just swatch all 3 of them. So I said Maneater. The other metallic I have is the Vino Noir. And then the third one is Spoiler Alert. Kind of a mauve-y color. So there are the 3 colors: Maneater, Vino Noir, and Spoiler Alert. Beautiful, beautiful colors. They're on top of the swatches that I had before, but they're a very comfortable liquid lipstick, probably the most comfortable so far. There's apparently Bare Minerals that's supposed to be around that same, but I haven't been able to compare those yet. But definitely, if I had to pick only one liquid lipstick, it would be Smashbox Always On would win it. And the color range is great. I only have one other liquid lipstick, and that is the YSL, what's this one? Tatouage Couture in the shade 1. And it looks like this. This was actually in a set, one of those holiday sets. And I did feature, I think, 14 different red lipsticks in Finding Your Perfect Holiday Red. You may want to take a look at that video. Here it is. It's beautiful, and it looks wonderful on, and it is super, super, super comfortable. And I had wanted to try this lipstick for a long time, and I am sold. The formula is beautiful. It's super lightweight. It dries down without shriveling up your lips, and it lasts for a really long time. When they say tattoo, they mean it. It really is kind of like a lip tattoo for the day. It stays on really nicely. And it does, I have to say that it does take a while to dry down. So you have to be a bit patient with it, but once it sets, you're good to go. Okay, we're going to go into lip glosses and lip balms now. I want to mention the Becca Liquid Crystal Lip Topper Glow Gloss. I have 4 of them, but the one that I pulled out is the Topaz and Gilt because it has a blue reflex in it, and I just think that it's very unique. I really, really like all of them. They're super comfortable. Another one that I'm very impressed with is the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This one is in Saint-Tropez, but I have 3 other colors of this. Another small one called Kristen, and then 2 larger one. I just don't remember their names, but I like all of them. They're very comfortable. The only thing that you have to be careful of is not to let it pool in the sides of your mouth. They tend to do that, but the colors are very pretty. But I took out Saint-Tropez because that is my favorite out of the 4. Now, when it comes to lip creams and lip polishes, I have to say that Buxom does a fantastic job. And to me, they are very much like lip glosses. They are minty. If you don't like the minty kind of feel on the lips, you may not like Buxom, but I find it very mild. Here I have my 2 favorites. This is Dolly and Sugar. And as you can tell, Sugar gets a lot of love, as does Dolly. I'm almost out of them. So yeah, I really, really quite like these. One that was a gift from a friend that I'm really using quite a bit of is the Rimmel Oh My Gloss in Lucy de Labra. It is beautiful, and you will notice that I do wear it in a number of videos. If I have a bold look and kind of a mauve pink would go well with it, this is usually the one I have on, at least for now. Of course, things change, but I really like this one because it's one of those glosses that you don't have to worry about. It just always looks good. I have a couple to mention from Joe Fresh. This is my absolute favorite gloss of all time, and it is called Angélique. And you'll see it's just a nice kind of peachy gold lip gloss. It's flattering as can be on the lips. It's like your lips, but better. It's beautiful. You never have to worry about where it's going on your lips, and it's super comfortable as a lip gloss. Doesn't do that kind of weird tackiness. It's just a really good one. And I don't tend to have backups of glosses. This is an exception. I always have a backup of this one. And you can tell I actually cracked it open not that long ago, and it's already down here. So I like it very much. And I also have a Joe Fresh lip balm. And this is my favorite out of the bunch. I have 7 or 8 of them, different colors. This is Pecan, or Pecan, depending on where you live, or Pecan. And I do love the fact that this has a twist up component so that it doesn't snap, but it twists. And I love what it looks like, and it's not super expensive as a lip balm, but it looks really nice. Just 3 to go. Now this one, I only have a deluxe sample, but I will be purchasing some because I just love them. I've gone through 4 different colors. This is my 5th one. And this one is Naked by Urban Decay. And it is a beautiful lip gloss. Like Buxom, it has a mint feel to it. It comes with a usual applicator. Yeah, I just like it. If you like the Buxom, you will definitely like the High Shine from Urban Decay, the lip gloss in High Shine. I have tried the Back Talk, the Naked, and a few other ones. There's one that's kind of a purpley shimmer. It's beautiful. Highly recommend these, and definitely will be getting some. Another one that I have rediscovered as a love is the Lancôme Juicy Tubes. They're fantastic. They're really comfortable. This one is orange. It definitely, if you're wearing a peach kind of peachy brown look, this one looks great on. It's just a regular kind of cheap gloss dispensing tip, but yeah, I really, really like this gloss, and I wouldn't be surprised that I would get some more. Now, my latest addition that I will probably be wearing for most of the holidays, except when I'm wearing the Rimmel Lucy de Labra, is this new Marc Jacobs gloss. I have worn it a couple of times, and when I put it on, I just kind of went, it's as beautiful as I hoped. And it's not as wild as might appear in the container. Let me just swatch it for you. It's very nice, sheer. It has a pearlescence that kind of shifts to a little bit of a pink. It's so nice. It's like the ultimate glam up of the lip, but without having to go red, if that makes sense. It's so beautiful, and it is called Shine a Light, 368 Shine a Light Enamored High Shine Gloss Lip Lacquer. It's my holiday gloss for sure. And it's not over the top. I mean, I wouldn't wear it during the day, just blah, 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 but definitely for wanting to feel kind of super comfortable but dressed up at the same time, this is definitely a new favorite. And I do really like the Marc Jacobs lip glosses. If you do, you will probably like this one as well. Just, yeah, again, it's just so beautiful. And you see the tatouage dried down now. Actually, all of these liquid lips you can see dried down, which is great. In all fairness, I did not swatch the Urban Decay, so I will do that now. I had 1993. You saw liquid on my lips, so I won't bother with that one, but I will just show you the bullet and the liquid lip in 1993. So those are 1993. This one, the top one here is the liquid lip, and underneath is the bullet. Well, folks, we made it. We finished. Those are all my favorites from 2018. If you have some of the same favorites, I would love to hear down below. If you have other ones that I did not mention that maybe you see back here, or maybe some that you know I haven't tried yet or haven't heard me talk about, I would love to hear down below as well, because very often hearing about somebody's favorites is how we find our new ones. So any assistance in that regard would be fantastic. Thank you for joining me today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like the content on this channel, I'd love it if you would consider subscribing. I thank you again and look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.